There's no one here. I wasn't expecting a welcome mat, but still.
Lenegis's infrastructure is largely automated. Besides, people won't be expecting incoming traffic while the crown contest is still underway.
Do you think anyone realizes that we're here?
We may not have received a royal welcome, but I doubt our entrance went unnoticed. Don't let your guard down.
I really hope we don't have to fight anybody while we're here.
So now what? We've come all this way on a hunch that this red woman is here, right? And if we're lucky, the Renis Alma too. Any idea where we should start looking?
There is an area of the city that is accessible only to the sovereigns, known as the Forbidden Zone. That seems as good a place as any for us to start.
Forbidden? What are they hiding?
I don't know, hence my desire to find out. Fortunately, we just so happen to have a sovereign in our midst. In any case, changing the shape of a huge structure such as Lenegis would have required an immense source of power.
Then you think that source might have been the Renis Alma?
Precisely. Alphen said that he remembered the Renis Alma being used in the spirit channeling ceremony 3 centuries ago. Whatever the ceremony's purpose, if preparations are underway for it to be held once more, then the Renis Alma might be in the same place as last time, possibly together with the Red Woman. Hiding something of that worth in the residential quarters would only court trouble. In which case...
It stands to reason we should be looking somewhere normally out of bounds. Is that it?
Indeed.
But it's been over 300 years since I was made a sovereign. You can't seriously think I'll be able to waltz right into the place after all this time.
There's only one way to find out. If there's even a chance you can get us in, I say we give it a shot.
Shion's right. Who knows? We might even find a clue to her thorns while we're at it.
All right. It's not like we're swimming in leads, so let's try to track down the Forbidden Zone. Beyond that wall lies a city full of Renins. The capital city where Shion and Dohalim used to live, no less. Who knows what we'll find on the other side?
Thinking about what could be lurking out here is giving me the heebie-jeebies.
For such a loudmouth, you sure can be a worrywart at times.
Oh, I'm sorry. How stupid of me for wanting us to stay safe.
Would you two children stop squabbling? Or do you want everyone to know we're here?
So how many Renins actually live in this place?
I couldn't tell you exactly, though not as many as you might expect. Machines and Zeugles take care of most of the city's basic functions.
There's Zeugles out here too, huh? Sounds like we can't afford to let our guard down after all.
What in the world?
This being Renin territory, I was prepared for a lot of things to look different. But this is a bit more than I anticipated.
The very foundations of the city have shifted. What could have caused this?
When Lenegis changed shape, it must have had an effect on the interior, too.
Maybe when they sent the wedge down to Dana?
But they wouldn't move around the places where people live. These are their homes, right?
I would think the citizens themselves didn't have much say in the matter. Either way, locating the Forbidden Zone just became that much trickier.
Dohalim? Is that you?
Avakir, I'm glad to see you're well.
So it is you! But why are you here? Shouldn't you be down on Dana participating in the crown contest? And these people!
So you haven't heard what happened on Dana, then?
Heard what?
Someone you know?
An old friend.
Hey, Dohalim, don't tell me you've started keeping company with...
They're with me. More importantly, what's happened here?
I'm really not sure. The city's foundations began to shift without warning, and now everything looks like this. We're all waiting for the Sovereign to tell us what's happening, but so far...
Avakir, listen to me. We're looking for the Forbidden Zone. Do you have any idea where we might find it?
The Forbidden Zone? What business could you possibly have there?
Trust me. The less you know, the better.
You're just the same as ever. I wish I could help, but what with the changed topography, I can barely locate my own home. Let alone the Forbidden Zone.
Very well. It looks like we'll have to find the way there ourselves.
Have you seen Faria yet?
No.
I see. Well, nothing much has changed with her. If anything, she's probably even more...
I can well imagine.
Why did you come back? You know it can only result in pain for you both.
I've no doubt of that.
You really are the same as ever. Fine, I understand. Just don't say I didn't warn you. And take care of yourself. Okay, Do?
So who's Faria?
Law?
If what Avakir said is true, it would seem the people of Lenegis are being kept in the dark about what's happening down on Dana.
They seem to be just as clueless about what's going on up here in their own world. Despite the fact that it's actually here that the wedge originally came from.
We need more information. Let's talk to the citizens, see what we can find out.
While we're at it, we can ask them about the Red Woman, too.
And don't forget about finding the way to the Forbidden Zone either.
Let's leave the talking to Shion. We can't have a bunch of Danins poking their noses around.
Good idea. I think that's for the best.
I shall assist.
You sure?
Being a lord on Lenegis has its advantages.
Right. Then we'll leave it to you two. The Danins among us should probably keep our heads down.
What if people freak out?
I shall explain it away by saying I'm leading you.
What are we, dogs?
What could be so important? It's worth destroying people's livelihoods and homes in the process. It's just... unbelievable. Uprooting an entire city as if it were mere building blocks. Someone's got an awful lot of questions to answer.
From how it looks, they must be siphoning off astral energy from Dana, and then sending it to Rena.
But why do all this? What for? Surely they can't be using all that energy for the crown contest.
Whatever their purpose, disrupting their siphoning process alone won't be sufficient. Not while we still don't know what their endgame is.
He's right. We need to stop this from happening ever again.
This Forbidden Zone might be where we find some answers, right? So what are we waiting for? Let's get moving!
You heard him. We don't have time to stop and chat. Let's move.
So, I've been wondering, do you think when Lenegis was built, it was even made with people living here in mind?
What do you mean?
Well, none of this happened by coincidence, right? They must have designed it to transform like this. But then, if they knew people were going to live here, you'd think they would have taken that into consideration, to avoid all this chaos.
Ordinarily, yes. You'd think so. Trust me, as far as we were concerned, Lenegis was our home, nothing more. No one knew about all this. It makes you wonder whether the city was just built on as an afterthought. But if so, to what exactly?
Sorry. That probably sounded weird, huh?
Not at all. Sometimes it takes an outsider's eye to help you notice what you've been missing all along. This place is a mystery, that's for sure. Something tells me we'll find answers where we're going, though.
Yeah, you're right, Shion. I'm sure we will.
Oh, dear me. What an unspeakable mess this has all become. Just look at the state of our city. Even the Zeugles have stopped heeding our commands. Whatever did we do to deserve this?
You really have no clue what might have caused this?
Would that I have. Alas, there was no warning, no prior decree. His Highness must have deemed it unnecessary for us to know. We have no choice but to grin and bear it. But do my eyes deceive me? Could I really be standing in the presence of his lordship, Dohalim of the House Ilkaris? I believed he was on Dana.
Your eyes do not deceive you. It is I, one and the same. I have returned to fulfill a special duty, the details of which I cannot divulge.
As your lordship wishes. First Lenegis mutates beyond recognition, now this unexpected visit. The Sovereign's plans are inscrutable indeed. The Ilkaris house has produced a great many lords over the centuries. I shall be praying for your victory in the latest crown contest.
Your good wishes do me an honor.
Everything will be okay now.
I know the basics of healing arts, but my skills pale in comparison.
Your lordship, Oh, what a great honor it is to finally meet you. I descended to Dana during the last crown contest also. Alas, when the contender I was backing failed to clinch the title, I returned. I witnessed the deaths of so many slaves.
Indeed.
Sorry to interrupt, but we're looking for a woman dressed all in red. Have you seen anyone of that description?
All red, eh? No, I can't say I remember anyone like that. I imagine she'd stand out somewhat, too.
Yeah. What about down on Dana during the crown contest? You didn't see anyone like that hanging around the lord you were serving?
What's with all these questions? I've never seen her, okay? Not recently or otherwise. Why do you want to find her anyway?
Never mind. Forget I asked. Sorry to take up your time. Is everything okay? You look a little lost.
Oh, yes. I can't seem to find my way home, is all. I was just about to make my umpteenth attempt at a new route.
I was hoping to head this way myself. The situation is a real pain, huh?
I suppose the Sovereign knows best. I daren't stay here too long, though. A lower caste can only linger around these parts for so long before I outstay my welcome. I was hoping to avoid it, but maybe I'll have to go that way after all.
You mean you know another way round?
Lord Dohalim Ilkaris! But how? Last I heard, you were in Dana competing in the crown contest.
Yes, strange, isn't it? If you know another route, we'd be grateful if you could tell us.
But of course. Please forgive me. There's a wall that sprung up ahead of here, with what looks to be an entrance in it. I thought maybe it was a passageway between the different quarters, but I've no way of knowing for sure.
It's worth investigating, at least. I shall go and assess the situation. In the meantime, wait for me here. If it looks safe, I'll come and let you know.
You'd really do that for me? A lord troubling himself for someone of my lowly status?
Our lot in life is of little consequence. We are both Renan, first and foremost.
Oh, why yes, my lord. Thank you.
Well, we've canvassed the city for information. What do you think?
No one has the faintest idea what's happened to this city after all. They haven't heard the news about the crown contest either.
You'd think that info would easily find its way up here. Has it always been like that?
Not to this extent. Which would indicate that something's suppressing the truth. That Lenegis is under some kind of control.
Given everything that's happened to their city, the people here seem weirdly okay with it all.
Yeah, that one guy even said his Zoogle had stopped listening to him. If that's true, these people are in big trouble.
Everything that happens here is attributed to the Sovereign's will. It's the way people have been conditioned. Their belief runs deep. Nothing happens devoid of a reason. To them, it's all part of the Sovereign's grand plan.
The Sovereign's plan. There is one thing I'm still not sure about. Just who is this person ruling over Lenegis?
The Sovereign, of course. He rules from Rena while presiding over both Rena and Lenegis.
Without the lords or anyone in the middle doing his dirty work? Isn't Rena at least the same size as Dana? That's a pretty big dominion for one person to rule over. I would have thought ruling Lenegis alone would be difficult enough.
The points you make are valid, though I confess I'd never given it much thought before. Here, the Sovereign's total authority is as natural as night turning to day. Come to think of it, I know nothing of the nature of how Rena itself is. Shion, have you ever been... No, forgive me. Have you met or crossed paths with, or even heard of someone who's actually made a visit to the homeland?
No, I haven't.
Neither have I. In which case, I would imagine that... But no, surely not. Can it really be that no citizen of Lenegis has ever been there?
Hold up, what are you getting at, Dohalim?
Assuming what I believe to be correct, it's possible that no one on Lenegis has ever laid eyes on the actual Renan homeworld itself. No one but the Sovereign, that is.
But what about trade and communication? There's got to be a flow back and forth, surely.
Not if the Sovereign is imposing his will on Lenegis single-handedly. It could be a one-way street.
But I thought you said that the Sovereign's all the way over on Rena. If that's the case, can he really rule directly over Lenegis from so far away? What if something were to happen to the city, like now?
I'm beginning to wonder what the nature of this Sovereign even is. Alphen said he was forced into the role, right? Just before the ceremony. But Sovereign is also the title given to the almighty Renan ruler. So which one is it?
Whoever wins the crown contest inherits the throne from his or her predecessor, before becoming ruler over all of Rena and Lenegis. Thereafter, that individual is known as the Sovereign. Though, it would appear that the current ruler has gone silent. As for how Volron factors into all this, at this point, I no longer know what to believe.
3 centuries ago, I became the Sovereign here on Lenegis. No, not just became, I was forced to. Me, a Danon. 300 years later, we cross paths with Volron, who also bears the Sovereign's crest. That's not the only thing we have in common. We both became Sovereign without winning the crown contest.
Do you think Volron was made Sovereign for the same reason? Because of that ceremony?
I can't say for sure, but it certainly sounds like it.
But that would mean that 2 Sovereigns would need to exist at any one time. One whose job it is to rule, and the other for ceremonial purposes. We never did see Volron's body back in Ganath Haros. Is a new ceremony underway with Volron at its center this time? Could that be what's causing all this strange activity here?
Wait a second. You don't think Volron and the Red Woman are working together, do you? The ceremony can't go forward without the Renis Alma. The same one that the Red Woman stole.
There's something else the ceremony needs. A maiden. And unless there's another one out there aside from me...
Questions, questions, and yet more questions. Ones that it seems will remain unanswered, until we can establish the Sovereign's identity.
If the Forbidden Zone really is off-limits to everyone but the Sovereign, that seems as good a place as any to start. For the sake of liberating Dana, too.
Then it's decided. That's where we need to go.
One of the citizens mentioned a passage that she thought might lead to another section of the city. It could point us in the right direction. Let's go find it! I didn't realize Renans oppressed their own kind, too.
And yet, weirdly, none of them seem to mind. Am I the only one who finds that strange?
It is the way things have always been, so no one thinks to question it. You have experience in that regard yourself, do you not?
Unquestioning acceptance of your own servitude. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Even so, the quality of life here seems much higher than any Danon city we visited. I used to think it was impossible to build an ideal society without wealth. But I suppose having it doesn't always mean people are treated fairly either.
More to the point, not a single citizen seems to have even heard of the Red Woman.
What if she's not here? What if it turns out we're looking in the wrong place entirely?
It's still too early to say anything for sure.
For all we know, she might be able to blend in, move around unnoticed. I say we hold off judgment until we've exhausted every avenue.
Tell me, Dohalim, has that skill of yours got a name?
And what skill would this be, pray tell?
You know, when you're talking to people around town. The way they suddenly become putty in your hands.
I'm afraid I don't quite follow.
I do. It's called friendly intimidation. Look imposing and speak in a deep, booming voice, and presto, you'll have people wrapped around your finger in no time.
I would never stoop to such scandalous tricks. Any feelings of intimidation are solely in the eye of the beholder.
So there is a knack to it! How do you learn it? Can anyone do it?
Now you've got me curious. Is there special training to master?
Let's see. An obsession with being elegant is a must. Oh, and it helps to be old-fashioned, too. Bonus points if you speak in a way no one can understand.
If you've a bone to pick with me, it'd be quicker to just come out and say it.
What? They look up to you, that's all. I'm just helping them along.
Hey! What's got into Alvin and Law all of a sudden?
I can barely understand a word they're saying. And what's with the weird poses? Was it something they ate?
I hope you're willing to take the blame for this one.
I wasn't expecting them to take me so seriously. I'll go and have a word with them.
With nobody left to run the show, I wonder what the people here are supposed to do. I mean, there's sovereigns up on the Renan homeworld, and all their lords were sent to Dana.
But Dohalim was a lord, right?
Only current acting lords have power. Renan society is quite strict about such matters.
Even if the other lords were still around, I doubt they'd be able to do much about the situation.
I wonder what they'd think if they were here to see Lenegis now. Balsif, Ganabelt, Almadria, and Volron. Now that I think of it, aside from Dohalim, we know next to nothing about the other lords.
Well, yeah, why would we? To us Danans, they were just enemies we needed to overthrow. Nothing more.
I know. But seeing Renans in their own city, going about their day-to-day lives, it gets you thinking.
It feels strange to imagine the lords living here too, you mean?
Yeah, a little.
If you're that curious about them, why not try inquiring with some of the locals? Every lord in their household has their share of supporters here on Lenegis. And luckily for us, the people here are unaware of the events on Dana, which means they should be more inclined to talk to us. Something feels odd here. Be on your guard.
That's quite some door, all right. This might finally be it. The heart of the beast.
We'll find the Renis Alma and the Red Woman inside, right?
After everything we've been through to get here, they damn well better be.
We'll probably be needing you to open this one for us, Sovereign.
Go for it, Alphen.
This is it, guys. Time to see what secrets are in store.
We're a long way from the residential quarters now. It looks completely different.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, this place... It reminds me more of being back inside the wedge.
Except the Danon astral energy feels even stronger here.
In a portion of the city reserved purely for the Renin Sovereign.
Maybe he just has strange tastes?
This place looks like it has been here for quite some time now. If its design were a matter of personal preference, we would be talking from centuries ago. Or perhaps even further back. Still, this isn't the sort of decadence of taste spoken of in artistic circles. So what is it then?
Hold up, decadence? Artistic circles?
When a preference is indulged to its extreme, it descends into kitsch, eccentricity for the sake of it. I'd be happy to illuminate you further.
That depends. Does it involve you buying me lunch?
The void that art fills isn't the stomach, it's the soul.
In that case, I'll let you know the next time my soul starts to rumble.
Now all we need is something to fill up the void inside your head.
Shut up!
Volron! He really was still alive.
And there's the Renis Alma. Then, is this another spirit channeling ceremony?
Wait, though. Something doesn't seem right here.
Oh, once more, the powers must be united. Born from the fires of chaos, the world does seek its rightful state. All must be sacrificed in the heart of Rena, at the shrine of the true sovereign.
What has happened to him? He's lost himself, reduced to a mere cog in a machine.
Hey, look! Over there!
Isn't that the Maiden's crest?
Can it be that this entire chamber is meant to act as a substitute for the Maiden?
It looks like it's still running, but are we already too late to stop the ceremony?
If that's what caused Lenegis' transformation, then the purpose of the ceremony must have been to drain all the astral energy out of Dana.
But for what purpose? What could possibly need astral energy on that sort of scale?
I don't know. But whatever it is, I'll bet it's connected to those visions of oblivion. Regardless, we cannot stand by and let them steal Dana's energy. That said, we should retrieve the Renis Alma. Because right now, we need that most of all.
He's not gonna lunge at us out of nowhere, right?
Not the time, Law.
Alphen, look!
The Red Woman! So we finally found you. I have a lot of questions for you.
Wait!
What?
They all have the same face? How is that even possible? What is this?
Who the hell are they?
It can't be. Are they even people?
It's hard to know for sure, but I think they're the true rulers of Rena.
They're not feeling particularly talkative.
It's no use, Alchemist. If we don't fight, we may as well be sitting just here.
Good point. Let's stop them before this gets out of hand.
Bringing
you a Acceleration wave!
Benediction light.
Here!
Another incantation ruined. Benediction light.
Falcon!
Shine. Radiant light. Force of regeneration.
Glacial Spear.
Archer Seal!
Take to the fray.
Freeze Laser!
Let us take to the fray.
Here's a healing
Here I
arc.
come!
First aid.
This one's all mine!
Going in. Inferno crossing. No chance.
I'm going to need to
This
use
one's
all the
healing
power
left.
of my healing arts to accomplish this.
Dragon Swarm!
This one's in your hands now.
You'll pay for that!
Hurricane strike. Got it. Lacerating template.
I'll bring you back.
Dragon Swarm! Try harder!
Let the marksman handle this. I'll
Double
heal you
demon
all.
bang!
No rest for the wicked.
I'm gone.
Sword rain out!
Blizzard blow.
Try harder!
Force of
Sword rain!
regeneration. I'm out of it. Once in a
Devastation!
I'll take you all on. Ha! Flare Demolisher. Hurricane strike.
Mirage!
Lacerating
Dragon
template.
Swarm!
Back into the
Dragon
fray.
Swarm!
Annihilate.
Rising Falcon!
Going in.
Raining Slash!
Lion, ready to go.
Dragon
Tiger
Swarm!
blade.
Heal! I'll smash you! Double Demon Fang!
By the havoc.
Elusive Deity! Dragon Swarm! Sword Rain Alpha!
No dawn shall
Dragon
break this
Swarm!
night.
Eternal Devastation! You picked the wrong fight!
I'm going to need to use
Dragon
all the
Swarm!
power of my healing arts
shot.
to accomplish this.
Catapult. Tiger blade. Thanks, Shion. Their arts were interrupted.
Sword Rain Alpha!
Annihilation.
I'm gone.
Radiant light. Force of
Healing
regeneration.
Sword Rain Alpha!
Anything in armory. Havoc.
Dragon Swarm!
Power of flame. Vanish without.
Eternal Devastation!
Hurricane strike. Flaming meteor.
Hear my call.
Sword Rain Alpha!
Smash to pieces.
Radiant Phoenix. Reload. Here's a healing arc.
On your
First
knees.
aid.
Dragon Swarm!
Hurricane strike.
Sword Rain Alpha! Double Demon Fang! Crush! The
I
flame
never
inside me
miss.
yearns to be let free! Burn!
Radiant Phoenix. Reload.
Incineration Wave! Dragon Swarm!
Hear my call. Red.
This one's mine.
Everlasting dominance. Negative
Sword Rain Alpha!
How about this?
Going in. Hurricane strike.
Radiant light.
Plenty
Force
left.
of regeneration. Regenerate. On your
This one's
knees.
mine.
I'm all stuffed
Double
up.
Demon Fang!
Blizzard blow.
Dragon
Heal
Swarm!
you all.
Stalagmite. Rending you apart.
Any more of this and I'll burn out.
Hurricane strike.
Sorry,
Swarm!
Blizzard blow.
Try harder!
Flaming meteor.
Captivity.
Dragon Swarm!
Beast assault.
The flame inside me yearns to be let free!
Shine.
Dragon
Radiant
Swarm!
Force of regeneration. Regenerate. Allow me to help you.
Try harder!
Allow me to help you.
Here, let me help.
Instinct shot it.
Aid.
Dragon Swarm!
Here I go.
Sword Rain Alpha!
Confiscated.
Dragon Swarm! Ignite!
Hurricane pierce.
Incineration Wave!
Glacial spear.
Dragon
Here's
Swarm!
the evil.
Sword Rain Alpha!
Flaming meteor.
Dragon Swarm!
Elusive deity.
Hurricane strike.
Double Demon
No
Fang!
dawn shall break this night.
Glacial
Dragon
spear.
Swarm!
Here's the evil.
Freeze. Ready to go. I never miss.
Blizzard blow. I'm gone.
Dragon Swarm! Try harder! Dragon Swarm!
And again.
Elusive deity. It's in your hands now.
This one's all mine!
I could do without this pain.
Sword Rain Alpha!
Arc sealed.
Dragon Swarm!
Reload.
Blow away!
They smite with blackened flame.
Here's the evil.
Dragon
Execution.
This one's mine.
Not done yet! Dragon Swarm! Sword Rain Alpha!
Not in your dreams. Radiant
Crush!
Reload.
It's on!
Glacial spear.
You picked the wrong fight!
On your knees.
This should do it!
It's in the sky, it's mine!
Dragon! Dragon! It's go time! There!
Radiant, look here!
Dragon Swarm! You're mine! Sword Rain Alpha!
By the power of flame!
Double Demon Fang!
Where are you going?
Dragon!
Radiant, steering! Reload!
Sword Rain Alpha!
Hear me! Flame of fury!
Raining Slash!
By the power of flame! Vanish without a trace! A new lease on life!
Sword Rain Alpha!
Ready! Vanish with a
Dragon Swarm! Double Demon Fang!
I can carve through water!
By the power of flame! Vanish without a trace!
Negative gate!
Take this! I'm not done! Eternal Devastation!
Explosion!
Sword Rain
Ready to
Alpha!
go.
Dragon Swarm!
And again! Radiant, look! Watch and sweep! Downfall!
Burn in hell!
Downfall!
Dragon Swarm!
I'm ready.
There!
Rinwell! Light burst forth!
Radiant Genesis! By the power of flame! Vanish without a trace!
Surrender! Fighting is useless now!
Do you think it's really over?
Astral energy. Watch out! They've got something up their sleeve!
What?
It's self-destructed?
Alphen!
I'm okay. Just a little roughed up.
You had me worried there.
Who said you could touch that?
Damn it! He's awake!
I should have thought as much.
So you know this place?
Naturally. It was built for me, after all. We'll save that for another time. More pressing is how I'm going to tear you apart.
Even after all this time, you still insist on hating me?
You cut me down. Sovereign or not, you will pay for that.
You're obviously bluffing. You can't even move right now.
Really, is that what you think? Did you really think that such a petty device could hold me?
Are you going to claim it's because you're a ruler? Be it sovereigns or lords. In the end, they're all titles given by someone else.
Plus, what kind of ruler would spend all his time chasing Alf, who happens to be another sovereign?
Idle prattle. I proved my worth and the Sovereign's powers were granted to me.
Were they really? We already know the title of Sovereign doesn't denote royalty. It is but an overblown codename for those with a designated part to play in these proceedings. You mentioned before that you were not the only one stolen from Dana, correct?
Yeah. There were countless. And every one of them besides me died.
All of those failed experiments, and they still kept going back to Dana. There must have been some vital reason their subject had to specifically be a Danan. Then there were the records we found in the library, for you and Volron. They were locked 300 years apart, and yet the data they took from you was exactly the same. Which leads us to a single conclusion.
Then you mean Voron was kidnapped just like Alphen? But then he became a
slave from Dana. Just like us. Isn't that right, Volron?
So he posed as a Renin and caused all that suffering to his own people?
How could you? If you knew the pain of being a slave, why would you inflict that upon others?
Renan and Danon are meaningless distinctions. Me and everyone else. That is all that matters. I will stand above all others and take what is rightfully mine, starting with this.
A red woman?
Another one? Give your master back on Rena this message. No one makes a fool of me. Let them know I'll make them suffer.
Don't do it!
Serenus Alma!
It's too late. We can't stay here.
We need to go. Alfred!
Go. But know I will be your shadow no matter where you try to run.
Let's go.
Never forget, I am the one who devours everything. Who answers to neither spirit nor man. My word is law. I am...
Are you two okay?
Yeah, we'll be fine.
Is Volron... Have we finally seen the last of him?
We can but hope.
Those red women. What the heck was their deal?
Could they be the ones behind all this? The same ones who put those soldiers in Faria in a trance?
What? Those brainless things? Either way, they've done a runner with the Renus Alma. Damn it, that's the second time now!
Whatever's stolen from us, we'll steal it back. The future's ours to protect. And right now those things are what's standing in our way. We can head them off at Rena.
Did you say Rena?
Volron mentioned a master of theirs holed up in the motherland somewhere.
If that monstrous form's their true identity, I shudder to think who they take orders from.
Yeah. There's a good chance it's not human. That's for sure.
So this thing over on Rena... That's what's really behind all this, huh?
They have the Renus Alma in their grasp already, so it's unlikely they'll have cause to return to Dana. I agree that Rena's our best shot.
Then we're agreed. Let's head back to the starship.
But seriously, I was not expecting Volron to actually be here.
He seemed to care not one whit about Renans or Danans.
Yeah, and not in a good way like with us.
I didn't see that coming about Volron. As for those red women, to think they were monsters all along.
Tell me about it. One minute they look perfectly human. Next thing you know, they're not actually human at all.
They definitely weren't Renan or Danon. I'm not even sure language would get through to them.
So what were they then? Human Zoogle hybrids?
Is the most terrifying thing anyone said all day?
How about you, Shion? Dohalim? You ever seen anything like that before?
No, never. However, if they're the same as the Red Woman we've seen with Volron, I think it's safe for us to assume they understand our language at the very least.
I had just so much I wanted to ask them. About Rena, and Shion's thorns.
Unfortunately, they blew themselves up before we got the chance. Why would they do such a thing, though? To take us with them? Or in order to keep something hidden?
Both sound plausible to my ears. They took off with the Renis Alma too, remember?
Yeah, they did. And the next time we meet them, we're going to make sure they tell us everything they know.
Let's see what you've got.
Now you'll learn!
I won't show you any mercy!
Engaging! You're mine! You're mine!
Sword Rain Alpha! Sword Rain Alpha!
Leave the ensnaring to me.
I'm ready! Totally! In an instant! Impact Block! Sword Rain Alpha! No escape! It's over! Dragon Swarm!
Stalagmite!
Rising Falcon! Strike!
Bloody hell!
You're mine!
Look sharp!
Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
Here, let me help.
My turn! Sword Rain Alpha! This one's all mine!
Do it!
Chill!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
Here, let me
Benediction
help.
light.
Sword Rain Alpha!
Hurricane
Sword Rain Alpha!
Flaming meat, make it rain!
Rinwell! Light burst forth!
Radiant Genesis!
Everybody okay?
We're all right, Alphen.
Coming through!
Dragon Swarm!
Go!
You're mine!
Leave the agile ones to me.
Radiant
Rising Falcon!
Execution!
Dragon Swarm! I'm not done!
Take this!
I'm going to need to
Dragon
use all the
Swarm!
power of my healing
charge to accomplish it.
I'll face you.
Sword Rain Alpha! Not today!
Seismic
Now
rush.
back into the fray.
Catapult.
Hurricane, make your break!
Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Strike!
Let me show you what my
Now!
heart can do.
You're mine!
Eagle Ray.
Rising Falcon!
Hurricane Strike!
Sword Rain Alpha!
Lacerating
Here I come!
Lunar corruption! By the... It's time to finish this! Die! Consuming wildfire! Here I go! And again!
You're mine!
Reload! Inferno crossing! Power flame!
You're on!
Without a
Take
trace!
this!
Piercing roar! Beast assault! Explosion!
Dragon
Burning strike!
Take this!
Make it way!
Double me! In an instant! Impact Cross!
Hey! Poodle's quivering! I think we're about to be real lucky.
Hey, what do you say we fight that shining enemy?
I'll clear the way through.
I've got your back!
The flame inside me yearns to be let free! Incineration wave!
Radiant light.
As if the normal
Regeneration.
creepy crawlies aren't disgusting
Dragon
enough.
Swarm!
Allow me to help you.
You're mine! There!
Blizzard blowing!
Sword Rain Alpha!
Seismic rupture.
Rising Try harder!
Reload!
Shine. Radiant light.
Regeneration!
Regenerate.
I'll stop its charge!
Thanks,
Be
Kisara.
prepared to be free from on your
Devastation! Dragon Swarm! Here I come! Burn!
another incantation ruin.
Dragon Swarm! You're mine!
I am not beyond fury.
Eternal Devastation! Double Demon Fang!
This one's mine.
You're mine!
Seismic
Now to
rupture.
pieces!
Behold, the Earth pulse. Tectonic fission. Resonate with the
Will this
Earth.
help?
Strike!
Stalagmite.
Shield and
Eternal
healing
Devastation!
circle! Down! You're off!
Sword Rain Alpha!
Seismic
Here I
rupture.
come!
Pull myself together. I'm going to need to use all the power of
Inferno!
my hero to accomplish it.
Rising
Resurrection!
No dark shall break.
Strike!
Go!
Eternal Devastation! Incineration Fist!
Hurricane strike!
You picked the wrong fight!
Quick shot!
You're
Hurricane
finished!
strike!
On your
There!
Blizzard blow!
Now you see what I can do.
Ryan Powell! I'll take you all on! Ha! Flare Demolisher!
Lightning
Take
downfall!
this! Crush! Double
Lunar
Demon Fang!
corruption!
tornado drive.
Unlock!
Face you.
Blizzard
You're
blow!
on!
Here I go!
Elusive deity.
Inferno crossing!
Rising
Shine. Radiant light.
Lightning
Shine.
downfall!
Radiant light. Force of regeneration.
I'm not done!
Regenerate. No further.
It's over!
Don't suffer in silence.
Piercing roar!
I owe you one. The flame inside me yearns to be let free!
Will this help? Hurricane strike!
Take this!
Hurricane strike!
Sorry to trouble.
Blizzard blow!
Dragon Swarm! Sword Rain Alpha! Burn in hell!
On your. Now we're never.
Crush! Vacuum Blade!
Unlock!
Eternal Devastation!
Going in!
Crush!
This one's
I
mine!
never miss!
Dragon
Dragon
Swarm!
You made me angry!
Shine!
That was a bad idea!
Resonate with the Earth.
Far enough!
Any more of this and I'll burn out!
Piercing
Sword Rain Alpha! Vacuum!
I'll take you all on! Flare Demolisher!
Radiant Searing
The flame inside me yearns to be let free! Burn in hell!
Can you take it?
Eternal devastation! Double demon fang!
No further!
Glacial Blade! Here's the evil! Here goes! Hurricane
Escape! It's over!
Radiant Light!
Demon Lash!
You're my...
Gemini Aqua!
Incineration wave! Sword Rain Alpha!
Now my turn!
Now my clothes are ruined.
Sword Rain Alpha! More! Look sharp!
Lightning Tiger Blade!
Am I on a roll or what?
Well, look who's in a bright and shiny mood. Right, here goes! Dragon Swarm!
Let me out.
Dragon Swarm!
I don't have much left.
Glacial Spear! Here's the...
Dragon Swarm! Sword Rain Alpha!
Shine!
You made me angry.
Boost of
That
regeneration!
was a bad
This was
idea.
all mine! Regenerate!
Incineration wave! You're mine! I'm not done! Dragon Swarm!
Can you take it?
Eat dirt!
Lunar Arc!
Dragon Swarm! Eternal devastation! Sword Rain Alpha!
Hitting Pile Driver!
Dragon!
Here goes!
Carve through armor!
Dragon Swarm!
Rinwell! Light Burst Force!
Radiant Genesis! Lightning!
Sword Rain... It's on! Sword Rain Alpha! Eternal devastation!
Make it rain!
I'm not done!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
Don't get careless.